We're going to talk about solving one-step equations, and first we need to cover some vocab. First, an equation has an equal sign. A variable is a letter that represents an unknown number. Variables are in equations, and typically we use X, but we can use any letter in the alphabet. In order to solve equations, we are going to use inverse operations. Inverse means opposite. Operations are things like adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing. The inverse operation we'll use for this video is addition and subtraction, but we also need to understand that multiplication and division are inverses of each other. We'll start with the example x plus 2 equals 5. This means some number plus 2 is 5. We know just by looking at this that x has to be 3 because 3 plus 2 is 5, but what we're going to learn is to show our work like this. We'll start by separating the left and right side of the equation with a line. What our final goal is to get x by itself, so we have x equals. If the question is what is x, the answer is x equals something. The problem here is that we have a plus 2. If we could eliminate this plus 2, we would have x isolated to bring down here for our final answer. The solution to this is to use inverse operations. If we have addition, the inverse is subtraction. So what we're going to do is subtract 2. Now, what we do to one side of the equal sign, we must do to the other. This is because we need to maintain equality. The line separates the left and right side to show us that whatever we do to one, we do to the other, and it helps us keep things organized. Now we are going to combine these two numbers. So 2 minus 2 is 0. We can show that by just putting a line through that and writing a 0. Now we bring down our x. X is by itself, and over here we have 5 minus 2, which is 3, so our final answer is x equals 3. In this example, we have x minus 5 is 4. That means something, take away 5 is 4. We'll use the same process that we used before. Draw a line through your equal sign to separate the left and right side. Remember that what you do to one side, you must do to the other to maintain equality, and our final answer will be x equals something. The problem is that we have a negative 5 here next to the x. If we could eliminate that negative 5 or minus 5, x would be isolated and we could get to where we want to be. The solution is this, inverse operations. The inverse of subtraction is addition. So what we're going to do is add 5 here. What we do to one side of the equal sign, we must do to the other side. We see that negative 5 plus 5 is 0, and all that we have left over is x, and then 4 plus 5 is 9. Our final answer is x equals 9.